What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Philly Sports from the Mighty Kingdom. And yeah, it's the reaction vid to what happened yesterday. Um, Listen, I thought about making a video right after LeBron, decided to go to the Lakers, but I thought, let me just give some time here. I wanted to hear some more of the reaction about it last night and today on local sports talk radio, and just kind of gauge the pulse. When I make these videos, I honestly, it's my opinion, but I do like to gauge some pulse too. To see some of the hot topic that it's kind of it's almost take a survey of where people are at, about these different topics. And I know ultimately we all give our own opinions, but it's still something that I like to do. I like to try to hear both sides of the argument, both sides of the coin, and come up with my ideas too. To have a little more um, information out there, a little more uh, uh, opinion, if you will. So today's talk, the last 24 hours, I should say, was dominated obviously by LeBron and Kawhi Leonard. Um, I will say this: I was as hopeful as I was that LeBron was going to come here, and the way things seemed to be shaping up yesterday. I don't know. Maybe you get your hopes up a little bit with the fact that Paul George re-signed with the Thunder and CP3 re-signed with the Rockets, and both of them were rumored to be players that LeBron really wanted to have his teammates in LA to go there. Ultimately, it was a decision he made for his family too. The fact that they have houses there, they have a business. Apparently, he has a side business or whatever it is. I don't even know, but um, and the fact that his kids want to go to school there. And sometimes, you know what, family is going to come first, is a very important aspect of life. To uproot them to a new place at this point in time may not have been the best decision. And he did what he thought was best for his family. Either he was going to go to LA or stay in Cleveland. And I can't totally hate the man for that. I mean, he's done everything you can do in the NBA, and I am not trying to say that winning is not important for him. Winning titles is not important to him. Obviously, it is. It is for any player. Certainly, a superstar player like him. But you know what? At the end of the day, he made a decision that he thought was best for him and his family. And if that decision was playing for the Lakers and, Magic Johnson eating, dinner with him the night before or whatever, if that's the decision that he was going to make, that's the decision he's going to make. And as a Philadelphia fan, as a Sixers fan, I'm disappointed. But I can't, I have nothing to do with these decisions. As a fan, I would love it if it could have been the other way around, if he would have, taken his talents to South Street instead of South Central. But he made his decision, and that's all there is to it. So now we look at what else is out there. And I understand that there's a huge risk involved. And I understand that there's no guarantee if you trade for Kawhi Leonard that he stays here because, look, LeBron is the Nick Saban of the NBA. I mean, he's the best recruiter that you're going to get. And I'm sure Kawhi wants to go and play with LeBron and with the Lakers. He's a West Coast guy. I get that. But I also look at the situation that happened in Oklahoma City. And I look at the decision look, we all thought it's a done deal. If LeBron is going to go to the Lakers, Paul George is going to go to the Lakers, right? And what happened? He stayed in Oklahoma City after 1 year. They gave him a big deal contract. He signed it. He stayed to be a Thunder. He could have gone to LA. He could have gone to play with the Lakers. And then LeBron, he stayed with the Thunder. So just because we think we know, the beauty of sports is every time you think you know what's going to happen, or you think you know what's going to happen, it doesn't always happen that way. You know? So I gave this a lot of thought, and I was really on the fence about this. I really was. But the more I think about them, and some things that I heard today on the various sports talk channels, and I have to agree with them. Because here's the deal, it's a risk. But in life, sometimes you got to take risks. You can't just play it safe all the time. What did Brett Brown say on draft night? We're star hunting. Okay, so they missed on LeBron. Okay, they shot blanks there. All right, it didn't work. That wasn't in their hands. They couldn't control that situation. LeBron made his decision. All right, the Sixers could not control that. They had no control over that. But they have control about trading for Kawhi Leonard. They can make that happen. Okay? And here's the thing. People are worried about what you have to give up. And the rumor is you would have to give up 2 players and 3 first-round picks to get Kawhi. Now, that's yesterday. With each day that passes, the leverage with the Spurs goes down and down and down. Okay? Because if there's all this talk about Kawhi wanting to go to the Lakers, well, you can't just put teams over the barrel. If the guy's saying he wants to go to another team, you lose some leverage there. So right now it's 2 players and 3 picks, but next week it could be 2 players and 2 picks. It could be 1 player and 2 picks. It could be 2 players and 1 pick. You know, the asking price could certainly go down. But let's just say hypothetical that it's 2 players and 3 first-round picks, which, yes, it's a lot for a player that you're getting for guaranteed 1 year, and then you have to work some magic after that to try to, and I'm not talking about Magic Johnson, okay? But you have to do some work to make sure he stays. And that's where Brett Brown and the Brain Trust and the players, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, at the top of that list, have to come in and keep the guy here. We have to trust it. We've all talked about trust the process. But we got to trust this. You look at the players that you would have to give up. Now, and I'm not gonna throw Markelle Fultz or even Zaire Smith in this because we don't know. You know, there's some talk that it could be one of them. There's some talk that it couldn't be one of them. We don't know, so I'm going to leave both of them out of it, okay? I'm going to go with the 2 players that have been most connected to this, and that's Dario Saric and Robert Covington. Okay? Dario Saric is a nice player. He's a good player. He's a nice role player on this team. I don't know if he'll ever be anything other than a role player on this team, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's been plenty of great role players on teams. Okay? The Sixers had one years ago in Bobby Jones, who was the original 6th man of the year, and he played his role to the best on the Sixers and helping them win a title in '83. But as it currently stands, Dario is a nice player. Does he have room to grow? Yes. Could he grow as a player? Certainly on the defensive side, yes. But I don't know if he's going to be anything more than a role player, no matter whether he's here or with the Spurs or some other team years down. I don't know. And again, it's not a slight on him. It's not a knock on him. There's just certain players that's all they are. And that's fine. If they know their role in the team and they play it. So that's Dario. Then you talk about Robert Covington. I'm not going to really shed any tears if we lose Robert Covington. He's been a wildly inconsistent player. Every now and then he has a game where he's shooting the lights out and he plays good defense. I know he made that with the second all defensive team or what have you. He shows flashes, but it's just not always there. I mean, the Celtics series in a nutshell was the inconsistency of Robert Covington. So I'm not going to worry about giving up Robert Covington. And to get a Kawhi Leonard, I give up Dario and I give up Covington in a heartbeat. It's not even a question. To get a top 5 player in the league, not even a question. That's A. B, you talk about the picks. The 3 potentially, again, this is what we go on today, and that number could lower as time goes on. But right now they're talking about 3 first-round picks. The jewel of those picks, obviously, is the pick they got on draft night, the unprotected first-round pick from the Miami Heat in 2021. Okay? Some people think that's too much, but that's why you got that pick. You you didn't get that pick for the Sixers to make it in 2021. They got that pick in trading Mikal Bridges to get Zaire Smith, but more importantly to get that pick, that unprotected pick to use as a chip to land a Kawhi Leonard. Again, Brett Brown afterwards, right? Star hunting. That's why they got that pick. Okay, and whether it's to get Kawhi Leonard or some other player in a trade down the road, that's why they got that pick. They are not going to make that pick in 2021. I would be shocked if they make that trade in 2021. Absolutely shocked. Because I know they got that pick to trade it, to use it to get a player like a Kawhi Leonard. Okay? And that's a big piece to get. That pick, that's a huge chip to get. That is gold to get a pick like that. Unprotected is the key word there. And the Heat, more than likely in 2021, they might have a top 5 pick. They might be a top 3 pick in the draft that year, unprotected. So that's a huge piece that you have, a huge trading chip that you have, an asset that you have to give up to get a player like a Kawhi Leonard or who have you. A star in the league, a superstar in the league. On a team that the player's just ready to go. The team's ready to move them. That's a piece that you have that's very valuable to it to get that done. That's why they did it. When we talk about this coming year, this season, and the following season, if those are the 2 first-round picks of their own that they have to give up, well, let's look at those picks. If the Sixers, and again, all things considered, and very hypothetical, I understand that, but if they get Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, they're better than the Celtics. They will beat the Celtics in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard puts them over the top to beat Boston, even with Irving and Hayward and Tatum and what have you. I still think you get Kawhi Leonard, you're better than the Boston Celtics. Okay, as it stands right now. Okay, another year with JoJo, another year with Simmons. We'll see about Fultz, hopefully, and he's a huge key to this season. Oh, he's a huge key. Okay, he has to prove why he was the number 1 overall pick a year ago. But you have him progressing, and then, of course, you get Kawhi Leonard. And then now they brought J.J. Redick back. That was a good move. They brought him back into the fold for another 1-year deal, at a lesser deal this time around, but good move there. You get those pieces and bring in some other role players on this team, you're better than the Celtics. As currently construed, I can't say that with a straight face, based off how last season ended. And I know you can't always look at it one season after, but I can't say that. To me, Boston's still better. And I hope I'm wrong. And I hope the Sixers prove me wrong. But as it stands right now, today, on July 2nd of 2018, the Celtics are still better than the Sixers on paper. You get Kawhi Leonard, you're better than the Celtics. It's an arms race. They got players coming. They got Irving and they got Hayward coming off injury. You got to match that. And you got to get another player on this team. Not just J.J. Redick. You got to get another star player on this team to beat that team in Boston. And Kawhi Leonard's that guy. So let's just say, again, hypothetical, they get Kawhi Leonard. And they play Boston in the Eastern Finals this year. And they beat Boston in 7 games or what have you. They go to the finals. What number in the first round are they going to have with that pick, the high 20s? A pick that they may even move anyhow. So what's it matter giving up that pick? Or let's say even the year after next, and let's say you keep Kawhi, and you have another deep run in the playoffs. That's another high pick in the first round, in the 20s, in the high 20s. So you gave up, the biggest one was giving up the unprotected 2021 Heat pick in the first round. But the Sixers' 2 first-round picks for this year and next, they might be in the high 20s. That's nothing. That's not a pick that's going to make or break your team. Most teams that have that high a pick trade it anyhow. Or get some player that may never even play for their team. Might be some player that they stash overseas. Or never makes it past the G League. So I'm not that worried if they give up their own 2 first-round picks to get Kawhi Leonard. To have a chance to have him on this team this year to play and I don't know, all this talk about him sitting out. Listen, that's agent speak, okay? That's the agent trying to force the hand to get Kawhi over to the Lakers, okay? He's not sitting out. He comes here, he's playing. Okay, and I think even if he stays in San Antonio, he's playing. All right. You get Kawhi Leonard. You put yourself to be, in my opinion, you're at the top of the Eastern Conference. With LeBron going to the Lakers, with how things are situated right now, you get Kawhi Leonard, you're number one. You're the top team in the Eastern Conference. You're the big dog. You're the team that everyone has to beat to go to the finals, including Boston. Okay? Top 5 player, great defender, shut down guys like a Tatum. You're going to you put yourself in a position to go to the finals, and then who knows? You go up against the Warriors, and look, the Warriors are still the Warriors. So who knows what can happen? But you get there. You go to the finals next season, or this coming season. You know what I mean. This season, this coming season, you're in the finals. You get Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion. You set yourself up for that. And then the first round pick that you gave up to the Spurs doesn't mean anything. It's a high first round pick. Following season, same thing. And you talk about, okay, the worry, well, it's only a 1-year deal. Well, you have first dibs to put a contract in front of Kawhi Leonard after this season and have him sign and have him stay a Sixer. And that's a max contract. That's a max deal. Not to say that everyone always signs those. I get that. But still, that's a lot of money. And the Sixers will have more money to throw at him than the Lakers. So you offer him a max deal as soon as your last game is played that season, whether it's the finals, whether it's the Eastern Finals, whatever, you put that check in front of him, you say, here, Kawhi, sign. And maybe going through that season, when he experiences what it is to play in Philadelphia in front of a rabid fan base and the sold-out Wells Fargo Center, all the home games and what comes with that, and to play with players like Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, two ascending players in the league, and of course he has connections to Brett Brown from San Antonio. I mean, look, if there's any team that can get him to stay aboard and not go to the Lakers, it's the Sixers. There's no other team that would have it better to try to keep him here. And all this talk right now, today, July 2nd, about him wanting to go to the Lakers, could go away. If he's on this team and they're going to the finals and making a run and all the sold-out Wells Fargo Center every game, and I know it's not L.A., it's not the glitz and the glamour. Okay, it gets cold here in the winter. Okay? We have what's called snow, but it's a great sports town. It's a passionate sports town. It's a great basketball town. And it's always been. Okay? Just wanted a team that was good to watch in the Sixers. And it took some time. But now that they're there, that place is one of the most electric atmospheres in the NBA. And you mean to tell me that those players, the money aspect, the coaching staff, the fans, all that couldn't convince Kawhi Leonard to stay here. And I get it, LeBron and the Lakers. I know there's a lure to that. But you still have to take that chance. And if you're the Sixers, it's still something you got to do. Because, and I know it's a lot to give up, but you got to do it because if they're truthful with what they said about star hunting, this is what you got to do. You got to prove it now. Yeah, you lost out on LeBron to no fault of their own. Okay? But you have a chance to make a trade to get a top 5 player in the league right now, and that you have control of to be able to do that. Get on the phone with San Antonio and maybe talk them down a bit. Instead of giving a 3 number 1 picks, how about 2? Including that unprotected 2021 Heat pick. And 2 players. That probably gets it done. But you got to make it happen. Because, again, it's about winning. Make no mistake. And I know we had to deal with the tanking and the process and everything. The 10-win season those years ago. Sports is about winning. And you can be one of those teams that just waits and hopes and says, well, we got these guys, so eventually it's going to happen. Or you have to be aggressive. You have young superstar talent. You have a real good thing with that, and they do. They're very fortunate to have that. Not every team has this, but you got to add to it. And not just the J.J. Redicks of the world. I'm talking about actual proven superstars in this league. Bring them here. If you can't do it in free agency, you do it in trades. But you got to do it. Don't waste the talent that you have now. And don't tell me that, oh, we have to wait how many more years. I'm tired of waiting. Okay? Waiting is enough. We've been through the waiting game. We've had to go through all those Tankapalooza, ping pong ball palooza seasons to get to this. And now that you have a chance to get a superstar player via trade, you do it. And that shows to other players in this league what winning means to you, what you're willing to do to try to get a championship, at least to try to get a team that's going to go to the finals. That we're willing to do all this to get a player, even though that player may not be here after a year, but we're still willing to take a chance because winning means that much to us. And that shows something about the organization. And other players see this. Not guaranteed that they all come here because of it, but they see that. It's a commitment. There's been a lot of talk today. There's been a lot of talk about Ben Simmons leaving here in how many years to go to LA to play with LeBron, although LeBron will be a little older at that point. But still there, right? There was even some talk that after this season, because Kevin Durant signed a 1-and-1 deal, that he's going to leave as a free agent and he's going to team up with Kawhi Leonard and they're going to go to Kawhi Leonard. I have Kawhi Leonard on the brain. He's going to team up with Kyrie Irving, because this is Kyrie's last season, his contract with the Celtics, and they're going to go to the Knicks to team up with Porzingis and create the super team in New York. I mean, that's all more reason, even more for the Sixers to be proactive with this thing, right? Because if that happens, now you have another team in the Eastern Conference you got to deal with, and oh, by the way, another team in your own division. Already you have Boston, and if the Knicks do that, then you got the Knicks to worry about too, in your own division. The time to move is now. The time is not to sit back and twiddle thumbs and sit on hands and say, well, we couldn't get LeBron, so our offseason is done. No. You still have a chance to get a great player, and a player, oh, by the way, who's a better fit on this team than LeBron was, who fits this team perfectly. You can't find many other players that fit this team more perfect than Kawhi Leonard. And you have a chance to go get him, and I understand there's a risk, okay? But winners take risks. Okay, that's what you do. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Okay, so you got to take that chance. You know, this fan base deserves taking a chance. You know, let the fans prove to Kawhi Leonard why he should stay here. Again, like I said, the Wells Fargo Center, it would be one of the most electric stadiums in the league. Make it happen. You know, and if they want to wait a little bit to see if the Spurs asking price goes down and hope that Magic Johnson doesn't swoop in. Although I really don't think that they're going to give up what it would have to take. Because, look, the guy's already said he wants to go there. Why would you want to give up all your young talent to get him now if you just wait a year? Unless LeBron's in their ear. You know, him and Magic talking. Hey, Magic, get it done. I know it's disappointing that we didn't get LeBron, and I get that. I was disappointed too. But the more I think about this, the more I see it as a good situation. He's out of the Eastern Conference now. Now the Cavs are done. That's one less team in the Eastern Conference to have to worry about and deal with, okay? And I know there's been some talk about, you know, not having Eastern Conference and Western Conference in the playoffs and just merging it all and having like a big tournament type deal, but again, that probably isn't going to happen this season. So you're looking at a couple years down the road, maybe, if it ever happens at all. But you get Kawhi Leonard, again, and even with the disappointment of not getting LeBron, you get Kawhi Leonard, you're the top of the Eastern Conference. And I don't think there's any, and you know, Celtic fans can try to argue it. Sixers will be the top of the Eastern Conference, and they will beat the Celtics in the playoffs if they get Kawhi Leonard. They will beat that team in the playoffs. And I, you know, could I be wrong? Sure, but I just think I will say this: it makes their chances that much better than what they are right now, as we sit right now. The way the two teams are currently construed, it's a move that they have to make. It's a move I hope they make, and I know it's giving up a lot, but it's a move you got to make. You got to make it. You got to try. Uh, Take a risk and let the reward speak for itself. But you got to take that risk. You got to. Just got to do it. And I hope that they do. And I will not harbor them ill will if they do. And even if, after this season, Kawhi Leonard goes to the Lakers, the Sixers are going to have a lot of money under the salary cap. And I know they have to pay Ben Simmons eventually, but they're going to have a lot of money under the salary cap to be able to get some more players. And I know after LeBron, I get that. But they could still be a player next offseason to make moves. Or maybe even make a trade to make a move, or what you have to do. But you got to try. And enough of this scared mentality. Oh, or Precious, we can't do this, we can't do that. Yes, you can. Sports is about winning. That's what it is. It's not about waiting around and hoping. Waiting and hoping, waiting and hoping, waiting and hoping. Teams in this town do that way too much, and it's enough. It's about being bold, making moves that you have to make you that much better, to give you that much more of a chance to win a title or multiple titles. And I get you have the Warriors in the Western Conference, I know. Okay? But I just saw the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They were bold. That's how they did it. They were aggressive. They weren't timid. They didn't let the Patriots push them around, or be overly scared of them. They won a title by beating a dynasty. And who knows, maybe that starts a dynasty of their own. And even if it doesn't, they gave us the greatest gift that you can give us. We had a Super Bowl champion at a parade. We have rings. We have a trophy. All the things that all these other fan bases told us we don't have, we have it now. And we beat a dynasty to get it. So those other fans got nothing now. Those local Dallas fans walking around now talking to us about rings all those years. We beat a team in the Patriots that was better than any of the teams that they ever beat in a Super Bowl. All right, so I'm sorry, it's the truth. Be aggressive. Get Kawhi Leonard. Make the trade. You missed out on LeBron to no fault of their own. Again, no fault of their own. It was his decision to make. He made it. It sucks. As a Sixer fan, but he made it. But now the Sixers have a chance to do something that's in their control and make a trade, a bold trade, but a trade to get Kawhi Leonard here. Oh, goodness, I went on longer than I thought I would about that. But, I again, as a Sixers fan, as a Philadelphia sports fan, I want I want them to be aggressive. Not aggressive wise where it's doing more harm than not. And if they had to give up Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid in that deal, yeah, I probably don't make it with a chance that if Kawhi only stays for a year. But if all you're giving up is Dario and Covington and some picks, you do it. And there's not even a question. You do it. To get a top 5 player in the league, absolutely you do. Not just any player, but a player who fits your team perfectly, you do it. You do it. And then you roll the dice, you take the chance that you can keep him here. And I think there's a good chance you could. But it's a chance you got to take. Going forward, I do want to touch on this. As I said, it was rumored that there was some talk earlier that the Phillies are amongst the top teams to land Manny Machado. And I also heard they have some interest in Moustakas from Kansas City. I've said this before. I want them to get Manny Machado. He's the perfect fit on this team. I really hope they get him. I mean, the Orioles are in town now. They're going to be playing a 2-game series here, and then the Phillies go to Baltimore for a makeup game. They're playing the Orioles, okay? I honestly, and I said this before, I wouldn't let those 2 games pass without getting Manny Machado. I would keep him here. 4th of July, all right, the nation's birthday, the origin city of the 4th of July of 1776. That was here, okay? Wouldn't it be awesome if on the 4th of July the Phillies make a trade for Manny Machado and keep him in Philly? He just has to change locker rooms. I mean, be bold. Their slogan this year is "Be bold." Be bold. Don't wait till the trade deadline. What are you waiting for that for? So all these other teams get involved. If you want him and you have the wherewithal and the pieces to get him, get him. He's in town. The Orioles are here. You have the two organizations that can just meet at a table and get it done. Don't let this thing go on until the trade deadline. Enough of that. We need him now. Just go and get him. And the Nationals go and get the Herrera from the Orioles, the reliever, and the Red Sox are making moves, and all these other teams are making moves. They're not waiting for the trade deadline. Why are we? You got a perfect situation with the Orioles in town now, Manny Machado in town. Just make a trade for him, let him change locker rooms, give him the Phillies uniform. Here you go. Your first game can be against your former team. What a perfect situation. Make the move. Be bold. I don't, it's too perfect a situation. Just make it happen. 4th of July, make it happen. We'll set off fireworks early. It's okay. We can set them off in the daytime. All right? Listen, I do. I want Manny Machado here, and I feel the Phillies could keep him here long term after this season. They have a lot of money they can throw at him. And again, you give him an opportunity to play on this team, and if they could be a playoff team this year with the atmosphere, I just think that sells him. I think he stays here. I do. And money does talk, particularly in baseball. Okay? It certainly talks in baseball, so the Phillies can just throw a blank check at him and say, hey, Manny, here you go. Just whatever zeros you want to put on it, there you go. We'll sign. Sign it. There you go. We're done. No, I two trades that I want to see happen. I want to see the Sixers get Kawhi Leonard, and I want to see the Phillies get Manny Machado. Even though after the year they can both walk, I still think it's a risk you take, and I think that you have to prove to these players why they have to stay here, but I think you can. And again, you can do a lot of this. You can throw a blank check in front of them and say, here you go. We got the pen. You want to keep it? Go ahead. You can have that too. It's a good pen. Writes upside down. Astronaut pen, like in the Seinfeld episode, right? Writes upside down. I know. I have no control over what these teams do. Okay? I have hope for what I would like to see them do. And in my estimation, getting Kawhi Leonard on the Sixers and getting Manny Machado on the Phillies are just musts. These are things that have to happen. Our teams have to show that they're committed to winning, that they're committed to doing whatever it takes. Will it always work out? No. Do you win every year? No. You can have the dream team all you want. It doesn't always work out. That's again, the beauty of sports. But you have to at least make the effort. You have to make the attempt. You have to, getting more stars on your team it helps your chances further to winning the championship, to winning, and to having prolonged success and multiple times of getting to championships and playing for them. And like I said in the last video, I want Manny Machado and I want Britton. I want the closer on the Orioles. And I would like to see them make a move with San Diego to get one of their relievers. As good as the bullpen. And look, give them credit. They played their rears off the last two games against the Nationals to get those 2 wins. Okay, to help the team get those 2 wins, and that was good to see. I know Nishik came along again off of his rehab stints in the minor leagues, and helped in the relief situation. Didn't give up a run, but they need more. They definitely need more, and they need more veteran, presence, and good veteran presence. I know some of the ones that they have haven't panned out too well, but good, more better arms in that pen, and that's going to help you even that much more. So make it happen. Make it happen, and don't be afraid. Take a chance. And I as a fan, I just want my team, in whatever sport, to show me that they're committed to winning. Does every move work out? No. We've seen plenty of moves in this town that haven't. But still, just the knowledge that my team is doing whatever they can to try to get championships, plural, that's all I ask for as a fan. I want a chance to win. And not just sit on the hands and twiddle the thumbs and say, well, we didn't get A, so now we're not going to go after B and C and D. It doesn't make any sense, particularly if you have money to spend and you have assets that you can give up that could be expendable assets to give up to get the right players on these teams. You do what you have to do. Sports is about winning. That's what it is. And anyone that tells you any otherwise, I don't know what to tell them. That's why you play. That's why you root, because you want your team to win. You know, all those years, us Eagle fans wanted to see that team win the Super Bowl. And all those years that they came so close that we could taste it, and they couldn't get it. And how awesome was that this past season, where everything fell into place, even with the injuries, even with all the things that could have derailed them, and it didn't. And they won a Super Bowl title against the dynasty and the Patriots. How awesome was that? They did what they had to do to win. And it's damn time that these other teams in this city follow suit and do what you have to do to win. Play by the rules that are put to you in these leagues. Get those players, those star players, star hunt. Get those players and win. You know, enough with losing to these other teams. Just do what you have to do to win. Add to the good young talent that you already have on your teams and put it together, and enough of the waiting game. And enough of the, we're just going to, we're just be patient. Enough of patience. Enough. Just fast forward this process, get the right players here that are going to help your team win and be successful. Because that's what it's about. And those fans that are lucky enough to see their teams win multiple times, the Warrior fans, the Patriot fans, the Red Sox fans, like all these fan bases that have gotten multiple titles in the recent years, there's a reason for that. They got stars on those teams. All right? They made it happen. And yeah, they got lucky in drafts and with other situations, but they also brought players to those teams. Make it happen. Sixers, Phillies, make it happen. You already have a nice collection of young talent on your teams. They need help. And you have an opportunity to get that help. Even if it's taking a chance on the player not re-signing after one season, you still got to take that chance, and you got to prove to that player why they should sign after that one season. Make it happen. Enough of the waiting around. Be bold. Be aggressive and get it done. Get it done. So thanks for watching. Thanks for giving me over 30 minutes, 38 minutes, I should say. I am really hoping that this stuff happens. I really am. It is an exciting time. You know, when we have a chance and we're rumored to be one of the front runners to get some of these players via trade. It's a great thing. These are superstar players that we have a chance of getting. Real difference makers. And I want these teams to do it because I want to take that next step. And if it means we have to prove to them that why they have to stay here after this year, that's what they got to do. That's their job, to make sure that happens. But you can't even do that if you never even get the player, if you never even take the chance. I mean, back in 1776, there were people, men that were sitting in Independence Hall, and they decided to take a chance and try to make it a free country. And that's what they did. There was a lot of odds against it. It was stacked up against it to overcome British rule and make this a free country. And that's what those men did. They took a chance. And we celebrate that every year on the 4th of July. And it all started right here in Philly. So, it doesn't always work when you take chances on things. But if you're not even going to give it a shot if you don't give that chance and take that chance. Make it happen. Anyhow, I'm going to get going for now, but I will see you all around the channel. And if I don't see you before, have a happy 4th of July. Enjoy it. Whatever you're doing that day, whatever, if you're barbecuing with friends and family, enjoy it. Enjoy the fireworks. Just be careful with them, but enjoy the freedom that we have in this country. I know there's been a lot of angst of late, and I get that. But the 4th of July is still something that should be celebrated and appreciated. Enjoy the holiday. And, thanks again for watching. I hope I don't bore you all to death in these videos, but, being a Philadelphia sports fan, sometimes you just have a lot to say. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I will have that Phillies jersey vid. I'm going to probably make it a two-parter, so I'll start filming on those at some point this week. I hope to have them up by the weekend at the latest, so be on the lookout for that. And I will see you all around the channel. Take care, everyone. And again, Sixers and Phillies, make those moves happen. Get Kawhi and Manny here. Make it happen. Don't be afraid. Winners take chances. All right, everyone. Take care.